Here is a real common question. If I retire early at age 62, will I be able to afford Obamacare health insurance? How much is health insurance going to cost me? We're going to explore this topic and much more, so stay tuned for the full episode. Thank you for watching. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. The cost of health insurance for those who are thinking about retiring and for those who already retired is a very big topic, and we're going to discuss that here today. So stay tuned for the full episode. To view all of our videos, below the video screen you'll see Wisdom Investor. Click on Wisdom Investor. This will bring you to the home page, and from here you can view all of our videos. We're going to get right into this question. If I retire early at 62, would I be able to afford Obamacare health insurance? How much does the Affordable Care Act cost? So we're going to look at some of the costs today on the Affordable Care Act and health insurance. So this applies if you're retiring early before age 65. You could be 62, 55, or 40 years old. What factors determine if I qualify for Obamacare? Primarily, they're going to look at your income, how many live in your household, and where you live to determine whether you qualify for Obamacare and available tax credits. You might ask, why do they use my income? It will determine whether you're eligible for the marketplace coverage or Medicaid. And then it also determines whether you qualify for tax credits to lower the cost of your health insurance of Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. What income should I include? You include income from anyone who you claim on your taxes, such as your spouse or dependents who will earn income in 2020. So some examples of income here. You would include your federal tax wages. You would also include tips, self-employment income, unemployment income, Social Security disability income, retirement and pension income, alimony, only if divorce or separation finalized before January 1st, 2019. Investment income. Excluded is foreign income. You do not include income from these sources: child support, gifts or loans, supplemental security income, veterans disability payments, workers' compensation, and 2020 government stimulus of $1,200 per adult. We're going to go over the rates here in just a moment. We're going to be covering the rates as they are for 2021 and take a look at some of the plans that a person could qualify for. So there's actually a minimum income to qualify. For 2021, we're going to look at this here. So for one person, you need to be making at least $12,760. For two people, $17,240. For four people, $26,200. If you don't meet the minimum, then most likely you're going to apply for coverage through your state Medicaid plan. So we just looked at the minimum income. There's actually maximum incomes to qualify for the tax subsidies. If you go over these amounts, you would not qualify for a tax subsidy. I'm going to go over those amounts right now. Here's how these tax subsidies work. If there's one person in the household, if you make over $51,040 for 2021, you would not qualify for a tax subsidy. For two people, that would be $68,960. If you're less than $68,960, then there's a good chance you're going to qualify for a tax subsidy. For four people in the family, it's $104,800 for 2021. Above that, you would not qualify for a tax subsidy. Now, over the years, there's been a lot of controversy about Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as ACA. Primarily, if you qualify for these tax subsidies, it's a great plan cost-wise. If you do not qualify for the tax subsidies, it can be pretty expensive. A lot of folks get discouraged if they don't meet the tax subsidies, and it can get pretty costly. There's really not any other affordable plans that would actually save you money other than Obamacare. So we're going to look at some of the costs here for Obamacare in 2021, otherwise known as the Affordable Care Act or ACA. So there's three levels of insurance here that a person can qualify for or purchase: the bronze level, the silver level, and the gold level. Keep in mind when we look at these plans here, every state's going to be just a little bit different, but they're all pretty similar in the cost range. I picked out an area in Dallas, Texas, where we're going to use our rates, And we're going to look at this as a single person married and a family with either 3 or 4 children. Okay, we're going to look at a 62-year-old female, and from everything I can see, it's pretty much the same cost whether you're female or male. This is what it would look like. We talked about the bronze, silver, and the gold. This is the bronze, the least expensive plan, $613. One individual, no children. So let's look at our rate here. Again, we say we're going to use Dallas, Texas area. This is for a 62 single. The cost was $613 for one person. Here's the tax subsidy income amount. So if you earned over $51,040, you would not qualify for a subsidy. If a person earned less than that, then they qualify for a subsidy. The subsidy is going to vary depending on what your income. You could get a subsidy of, say, $300, and it would be subtracted from the $613 in that case. So you would only owe $313. Again, every person's situation is going to be different. So back to this 62-year-old single. This was the bronze plan. If we go up to a more expensive plan, silver would be $753. And then if we go on up higher to the gold plan, that would be $883. So that gives you an idea of costs for a single person age 62 that wants to retire early. So that's an example for a person at 62 and single. We're going to look at some other situations here for a 62-year-old that wants to retire early, some with married and with children. We're also going to look at some rates for a 55-year-old who wants to retire early, and then we'll take a look at some rates for a 40-year-old here in just a moment. Here's some rates I did some research on. So let's look at a 62-year-old married. This would be partners are both 62 here. The cost for the bronze plan, the least expensive, $1,227. Your income over $68,960, no tax credit below that, and it would be eligible for a tax credit. If we had 2 spouses, 62, 62, and a 15-year-old child, the cost would be $1,405. For 3 people, the tax credit number here is $86,880, so you'd qualify for subsidy below this number. And for a 62-year-old married with 2 children, $1,583 per month, and your subsidy number, income number to look at would be $104,800. Below that, you would qualify for some type of a tax subsidy. For a 55-year-old single who wants to retire early, it's $476, and your income limit is $51,040. For 2 55-year-olds that are married, it's $953, and your tax subsidy income limit is $68,960. For married with 2 children, 4 people in the household, it's going to be $1,309, and the subsidy amount is $104,800. Again, keep in mind, this is for Dallas, Texas area. This is going to be real similar. I'll tell you about my situation in just a moment. Here's a map of the United States. We're going to look at what the average cost is for a 40-year-old. The darker areas are higher cost, and the lighter blue areas are lower cost. We start with Wyoming. The average cost for a 40-year is $519. South Dakota is $454. If we look at the blue areas, say in Florida is $339, Tennessee $340, Oklahoma $367, Arizona $342, California $323. And if we look at the light blue, New Mexico $236, Colorado $266, Ohio $280, and Washington State $280. Now here's a question. What if I earn too much or too little to qualify for subsidy? If you earn too much, you can still get Obamacare. You would just pay for it. If you're below the income level, then you would use the Medicaid plan in your state. What if my income estimate is wrong? For now, that's just an estimate whenever you sign up. When you actually sign up for the plan, they're going to get some information from you to verify your income. What if your income changes during the year? You're going to want to notify your insurance company so that they can make the necessary adjustment. Now, my particular situation, I retired in mid-year, so I had half a year of income from my previous employer, so I reported that. I actually qualify for maximum subsidies. I didn't have to pay anything for the Obamacare. However, as the year went along, I received some unexpected income, And so by the end of the year, it's going to be real close whether I get the subsidies or not. So you want to be real careful there. If your income goes over the subsidy limit, then they're going to come back and say you've got to pay all this back as soon as they see your next tax return. So you don't get away with anything in this if you give them the incorrect information. So how to apply for the Obamacare or Affordable Health Care. You go to healthcare.gov for information. You can start the qualifying process there. So if you're thinking about retiring early at 62 or even 55 or 40, we looked at some of the costs for Obamacare Health Care, also known as the Affordable Care Act and abbreviated to ACA. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for future updates.